Over the last week or so, a bunch of huge announcements have dropped in the AI space. Now, if you look at them one by one, they're pretty interesting. But when you start connecting the dots, something much, much bigger starts to take shape. You can actually see the blueprint for the next fundamental wave of artificial intelligence. So, what's the big deal? Let's connect those dots and figure out what this all really means. Okay, to really get the scale of what's happening, you have to start right here. This is a quote from the new CEO of Amazon Web Services, Matt Garman. Now listen closely. He isn't just talking about a slightly smarter chatbot. He is comparing the rise of AI agents to the initial shift to the cloud. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. This isn't some minor upgrade he's talking about. It's a fundamental, ground-up change in how businesses operate, on the same level as the move to the cloud. That's a once-in-a-generation kind of shift. And that really is the central question we're tackling here. If a change that massive is on the horizon, what are the foundational pieces being put into place right now to make it all happen? Well, it turns out the answers are hiding in plain sight, right inside the announcements that just came out this past week. First things first, you need the physical layer. Every single digital gold rush needs its picks and shovels, right? And for AI, that means incredibly powerful, super specialized hardware. See, we're moving way past the era of just using general-purpose hardware for AI. The kind of complex, multi-step thinking that these new AI agents are going to need, well, it requires a completely new generation of custom-built silicon, designed from the ground up for just one thing, running absolutely massive AI workloads. And this is a perfect example of that shift. Just look at AWS's new Trainium 3 chip. It's not just some small, incremental update. No way. When you compare it to the legacy GPUs that powered the last wave, this thing is custom-built, optimized specifically for AI training. What does that mean for you? It means higher performance, and this is the really crucial part, a lower cost for every single operation. So this isn't just about speed, it's about being smarter and way more efficient. This is the engine that's going to power this whole revolution. And hey, if you need any proof that big money is being poured into this hardware layer, just look at this. Marvell Technology just announced a deal to buy a company called Celestial AI for at least $3.25 billion. That is a massive, massive bet on the future of data center hardware. Now, what's really fascinating here is the why behind that huge price tag. This deal isn't just about making individual chips faster. The key is that Celestial AI is all about solving the data bottleneck between the chips. Think about it. You can have the fastest processors on the planet, but if they can't talk to each other fast enough, you just end up with a huge traffic jam. So this deal is really about building super highways for data, so it can flow instantly between all these powerful AI brains. But okay, all that powerful hardware is just a bunch of expensive paperweights without the right software to bring it all to life. So let's move up the stack and take a look at the operating system for this new wave of AI. All right, before we go any deeper, let's just make sure we're on the same page about what agentic AI actually means. We're not talking about a model that just answers a single question. No, an AI agent can take a really complex goal, like plan a whole marketing campaign for a new product, and then autonomously reason, plan, and carry out all the little steps needed to get it done. Just imagine telling an AI, hey, plan my family's summer vacation to Italy. And it doesn't just research flights and hotels. It books them, it creates the itinerary, it even makes your dinner reservations. That's the power we're talking about. Of course, to manage that kind of power, you're going to need a pretty sophisticated command and control center. And that's exactly what platforms like Amazon's Bedrock Agent Core are designed to be. Think of it as the central hub for building, deploying, and, maybe most importantly, controlling these powerful AI agents inside a business. And the latest updates to Agent Core show us exactly what big companies need to make this stuff a reality. They're adding policy controls, which are basically the guardrails. They're adding agent memory, so the AI can actually learn from its past conversations. And they're adding evaluation tools so you can check if it's doing a good job. They're building the safety and management tools businesses need before they can really trust these agents with important work. Okay, so we've got the hardware, we've got the software, but there's a third absolutely critical layer: the money. Is the market actually buying into this vision of an agentic future? And the answer? Oh, it's a huge, resounding yes. And maybe the biggest signal of all dropped this week, Anthropic, one of the top AI research companies out there, has reportedly started the formal process to go public. This is a massive stamp of approval, showing huge confidence in the whole enterprise AI space. And the details here really matter. They've hired a top-tier law firm for this, and it could happen as early as 2026. If and when this goes through, it could be one of the biggest tech IPOs we have ever seen. And the crucial point is this: It means the smartest investors in the world are convinced that selling this kind of AI tech to businesses is about to be an absolutely enormous market. So now, let's put all the pieces of the puzzle together. We've looked at the hardware, the software, and the money. When you see them as separate headlines, they're just news stories. But when you stack them all up, you see the blueprint. And this lays it all out, nice and clean. At the very bottom, you have that foundational hardware, those specialized chips from AWS, and the high-speed connections from the Marvel deal. Sitting on top of that, you have the agentic platforms like Bedrock Agent Core to actually manage all that intelligence. And then, validating the entire stack, you have these huge market bets, like the upcoming Anthropic IPO. You see? Each layer enables the one right above it. So here's the bottom line, the big takeaway. What we've seen this week isn't just a random collection of corporate press releases. It's a coordinated, multi-layered push to build the entire infrastructure for the next era of computing, an era that's going to be defined by autonomous AI agents. And all of this brings us to one final, really interesting question for you. We've seen the blueprint for how this future is being built. The only question left is, once it actually gets here, what are we going to do with it? If you had an autonomous agent that could handle complex, multi-step tasks all on its own, what's the first thing you'd tell it to do?